All right, we need to talk about Scoot Henderson because I feel like he's one of the more polarizing young players in the NBA right now. He had as much draft stock as anybody going into that 2023 class. He was known to being the 1B to Victor Wembanyama's 1A in that draft class. And over the course of the season, Wemby became the clear-cut number one player in that draft. So everybody thought Scoot Henderson was going to go 2. That didn't even happen. He went number 3. Brandon Miller went 2 ahead of him. And there are plenty of guys from that draft class that were known as more developmental guys than Scoot that have been better than him so far, like Bilal Coulibaly, Amen Thompson, and Grady Dick. So today, I want to break down what Scoot Henderson has done so far in the NBA. Is there cause for concern? Will he be fine in the future? Let's get into it. So to paint the picture for you, Scoot Henderson ended up spending 2 years in the G League Ignite. This is still a time where this was an option or an alternative to college basketball. We saw the number 2 overall pick in the 2021 draft and Jalen Green attend the G League Ignite. And the G League Ignite had its issues. We obviously know about them, and the program has disbanded now that there's the whole NIL feature, so players aren't really going to the G League Ignite anymore. Now, Scoot's 2023 season, his second year in the G League Ignite, honestly wasn't super successful, but people thought that Scoot was kind of cruising throughout that season because he knew he was going to be a top pick in the 2023 draft. Over the course of 19 regular season games, Scoot averaged 16.5 points. He shot 43% from the field, 27% from 3 on around 3 attempts a night. He shot 76% from the line. He averaged 6.8 assists, but 3.4 turnovers, 5.4 rebounds, and 1.1 steals. Now, it was shocking when Scoot didn't go number 2. It was Brandon Miller, and it looks like that the Hornets made the right decision for their team dynamic at the time. So Scoot Henderson was coming into an environment where he was going to have a great mentor. He was going to be under Damian Lillard. And then a couple months later, at the end of September in 2023, Damian Lillard gets traded to Milwaukee. So Scoot Henderson went from being under Damian Lillard to being under Malcolm Brogdon. And no slight to Malcolm Brogdon, but he's no Damian Lillard. And to start off Scoot Henderson's season last year was not ideal. Throughout the month of October, he averaged 8 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists. He shot 33% from the field and just 5% from 3. He went 1 of 18 in the month of October from downtown. The next month, in a 5-game sample size, he averaged 8 points, 2 rebounds, and 4.5 assists, but 9 less minutes per game, and he shot 33% from the field, 33% from 3, 60% from the line. As we got into the month of December, we saw Scoot put up career highs in scoring. He averaged 15 points. He averaged 5 assists as well, 3 rebounds a night, but he shot 39% from the field, but encouraging, he shot 35% from 3. But he didn't really carry that momentum into the month of January. He went down in scoring from 15 points to 12 points. He went down in rebounds, down in assists. Field goal percentage went down, 3-point percentage went down, and free throw percentage went down. And Scoot Henderson was showing up in all different low lights because he had the lowest or worst plus minus on the team almost every single night. Now, the Blazers last year were an absolute disaster, and I don't think Scoot Henderson was at fault. Yes, he didn't have a great rookie season. He was a high volume, low efficiency guy for sure, but if you look at his pre to post All-Star numbers, it definitely was encouraging. Pre-All-Star break, he averaged 13 points, 3 rebounds, and 5 assists over 43 games, and over his last 19 games of the season, he averaged 16.5 points, 3.5 rebounds, and 7 assists. His true shooting went from 48% to just under 50%. So there was encouragement. There was a light at the end of the tunnel for Scoot Henderson's rookie season. And if we look at Scoot's numbers this year, he's averaging 12 points through 13 games, 3 rebounds, and 4.5 assists. He's shooting 42% from the field, 31% from 3, 80% from the line. He's also averaging 3.1 turnovers a night, which is down from last year. He's averaging 2.5 fouls a game too, which is also down from last year, so that's a good sign. His true shooting percentage has gone up from 48% to 51%, but his usage rate has dropped from 26% last year to 23% this year. Now, that can increase over the course of the year. Anthony Simons is dealing with an injury right now, so you expect Scoot to manhandle more of the point for this offense and be the lead initiator with Anthony Simons on the shelf. And this team is probably going to make some type of selling moves after the deadline, so we're going to see Scoot play a ton in the second half of the season, more than he's even playing right now. Now, I want to show you a graphic right here. So Scoot Henderson has played roughly half or a little bit less than half games total played throughout your first 2 years. Then Kobe White from the 2019 draft class, Darius Garland from the 2019 draft class, and De'Aaron Fox from the 2017 draft class. And you can see these guys who are efficient scorers right now, good 3-point shooters when you're talking about Kobe White, good overall scorers, good facilitators. They got up to slow starts in their careers. You can see Kobe White shot 40% from the field, 35% from 3 in his first 134 games. Now, Garland was a little bit better, but his main weakness was finishing out the rim, and that got better over time. And you could see his free throw percentage was really a good indicator of how good of a 3-point shooter he was going to be. De'Aaron Fox is one of the main things you can look at here. 43% from the field, 34% from three, 72% from the line. And he wasn't in a great environment either in Sacramento. And there is going to be some hope for Scoot Henderson that this is just some of the growing pains he's going with so far. He's still just 20 years old. And I want to dive into what I think has been encouraging for Scoot Henderson this season. While Scoot is just shooting 31% from three, he's shooting 47% from three on catch and shoot threes on an attempt and a half a night. And this was an encouragement too in Scoot Henderson's rookie season. He's able to catch these in stride, and the form looks good, the confidence is there, and the release looks really good as well. It's not like he has a broken release right now. And I feel like his movement and comfortability where he should be on the floor is ticking up as well. Here, Jeremy Grant drives to the right, Scoot Henderson creeps over, where he's going to get an above the break three, and he swishes that with ease. And here he's able to just catch a three in motion from Anthony Simons. The footwork looks great, and he gets a little bit of contact at the end, and he still finishes it because he has a very strong follow through. I also think Scoot Henderson has done a great job as a primary initiator, and he's working out well in the pick and roll, especially with his big men. Here's a nice pick and roll connection with Donovan Clingan, where he's able to get the lob over Defensive Player of the Year winner Rudy Gobert to finish the alley-oop. Or here he's able to receive the screen from Donovan Clingan. He's going to dribble a couple times to his left, and he's going to find a nice cutting Ryan Rupert. That is great court vision from Scoot on that play. Or even this play where it happens also quickly. Scoot Henderson is able to see that DeAndre Ayton is guarded by Jordan Hawkins, and he gets an easy assist right there. And I think that's just another part of Scoot Henderson's game that is developing over time. And I don't think he's done any justice under Chauncey Billups, who's had inconsistent rotations, inconsistent minutes for Scoot at times, and hasn't had the best track record for player development so far in his time in Portland. Also, Scoot is shooting 50% so far at the rim. And that's on good sample size. That's on 67 shots already this season, and he's hit 34 of them. And these haven't been the easiest shots ever. He really impressed me against the Minnesota Timberwolves in the in-season tournament, going right at Rudy Gobert here and finishing with the offhand. Or you could see the burst from Scoot Henderson on this play here as he gets the ball from Robert Williams and he attacks Dante DiVincenzo and Nickeil Alexander-Walker to finish at the rim. And this one was my favorite, where Scoot Henderson is guarded by Naz Reid, and he's able to finish the acrobatic reverse layup for the and one to put the Minnesota Timberwolves up by 18. And those are the plays that Scoot Henderson can just bring Portland right now, and he's able to get downhill super easy. He's still one of the faster players on the floor, especially with the ball in his hands. And even plays like this where he's able to see the read here and make hustle plays that sometimes you can't really teach. Now, some of the more negatives with Scoot's game so far, as I mentioned before that he's great in catch and shoot threes, it's the opposite with pull-up threes where he's initiating these shots. So far this year, Scoot Henderson is shooting about 12% on pull-up threes. And on some of these, Scoot is showcasing great dribble moves here. He almost makes a really good defender in Chris Dunn slip, but he just can't finish the shot. Or here on this one where he's able to get Moses Moody to turn around and he gets a great look going behind the back, but once again, he just can't finish. And you watch this one here against the Thunder, he's making a move that looks like a veteran out there, and once these start falling, Scoot is going to be one of the more entertaining pull-up jumpers in the game. Now, Scoot is averaging 4.5 assists right now and 3.1 turnovers, which isn't the assist-to-turnover ratio that you want to see. And I feel like some of these turnovers, if Scoot just slowed down a little bit, they would be so avoidable. And on this turnover right here, Scoot gets by Rudy Gobert slightly, and instead of kicking it out to Shaedon Sharpe in the corner, he tries to get it to Jeremy Grant above the break, and that just wasn't going to work out. This one here too, where Scoot gets the rebound after Julius Randle missed three, and he's got Jeremy Grant wide open there in the corner, but he just airmails it out there looking like Daniel Jones. And this one was a little bit of a head scratcher as well, as Shaedon Sharpe is driving down the court. Could have been an alley-oop, but Scoot throws it off the backboard. And I really think Scoot is developing well as an on and off ball defender as well. This, he gets behind Yves Missi on the screen. He's able to pick up Jose Alvarado. Good communication with Donovan Clingan. He's right on Jose Alvarado, who gets a step on him, but Scoot is able to rip the ball right out of his hands. And that's what's making Scoot a better defender, is when he gets beat by a step, he's got the intangibles and the quickness to make up for it. So all in all, I do think Scoot Henderson is just fine, and it's just taking him a little bit more time to develop in this league than some other players. Obviously, it doesn't help when Brandon Miller looks like he's a little bit ahead of Scoot Henderson, but he's a full year older than Scoot, and obviously it doesn't help too when Wemby is just in a tier of his own. But I do believe Scoot is still going to be just a fine player in this league, and he's going to develop into a really good shooter and a really good overall scorer at the point guard position. Will it be with this iteration of the Portland Trailblazers? I think we got to wait and see. There's going to be some moving parts with some veterans on this team, and I don't believe that Chauncey Billups is the right man for this job. So I think those could be some factors that could either speed up Scoot's development or delay it a little bit. So that is going to be for me. I hope you guys did enjoy. Drop a thumbs up if you did. I would really appreciate it. Let me know what you think about Scoot Henderson so far down below. Please, Trailblazers fans, let me know what you think. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let me know in the comments which other player evaluations you guys want to see so far this season, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.